Hello ladies and gentlemen, your beloved Viggoman here, and welcome back to Let's Build a Castle Together. Today we're going to start off with one of the most important parts of a castle like this, the Gatehouse. The title and the thumbnail might already have spoiled this for you, but we're going to work on that today. The Gatehouse is, as I said, one of the most important parts for a castle or a keep like this, because this is where you have the biggest chance of enemies getting through, because this is the only way into your castle. So this is one of the weakest points of a castle, and it's also very important that you make sure that you create this very strong and very defensive. So that is something I really want to do with this Gatehouse here, is to focus a lot on defense, making it look massive and very strong. Therefore we have this big facade with two massive turrets sitting on the sides. A turret is kind of a tower which are placed alongside another building like this. So you can see it's kind of on the corner of the building. That's called a turret. But if this turret was placed higher up and was kind of sticking out from the wall, it would be called a bartizan. Just some small facts for you here, guys. I've been reading up on this. So that's something we're going to make the Gatehouse very strong and very defensive. So you can see now I'm just currently kind of mixing in some different kind of patterns and textures into the side here, just to make it look a little bit brighter. I tried to mix in some of the plastered stone and also some diorite and diorite sandstone, no, diorite cobblestone and diorite bricks, just to really make the whole facade look a little bit more brighter, because that's kind of the vibe I want to have for this build, to have most of the foundation and the rocks very bright, because that's how I want the mountain below the castle to be very bright gray and almost a little bit yellowish. So I'm just doing this as I like to do it, doing it very in a patchy manner, where we have very many different textures and kind of mix them together in blobs and patches to make it look more realistic here. Also on the bottom I added a little bit of sandstone bricks to really just make the foundation look a little bit more strong than the top. You can see that I'm also just currently still mixing in a lot of stuff on this. I don't know if you can hear my roommate. He's working on something. He's making a lot of noise. Hope you guys can't hear that. But anyway, moving on here, still just patching it up here. It's very important to do this early on, so that when you start carving out windows and details, all of the randomization and all the patches are already done. So getting very close to finish line here with all of the randomization. We're starting to move to the front again, where we will be starting to add a little bit of detail to the main gate itself. Starting here by adding the arch for the entrance here, and then we're going to add another supportive layer outside of that. Again, using a brighter stone, we're going to use the diorite bricks like this, and then we're going to make another arch in front of that. And we're going to add a little bit of detail and nice chisel bits to this entrance here, because that's the style I'm going for here, trying to make it look very royal and very magnificent. No, I don't even know if that's the word, but trying to make it look very rich and very powerful by adding a lot of chisel bits and nice details to many of the features here. So you can see we added a nice marble to the outside, and that is kind of to show off some power and show off some of your wealth. You can see here I'm adding a little bit of arrow slits on the side here. This is for the guards to shoot arrows at enemies that approach the gate itself from inside of the building. Here looks very nice. And then on the top here we're making some kind of crenellation, but it's actually called a magicalation. I think that's right. And that is basically a crenellation that is sticking out a little bit, giving the guards or the men fighting on top of it even a better defensive position, because they can kind of shoot down, and it would also have arrow slits in the ground facing downward, so they can shoot straight down at the enemy. Now we're adding the second layer of this build, which will be like the top part kind of sticking in a little bit, so that we can have like a crenellation going around the main build itself, and then have another build inside of that again. Building some of the tower roofs here, and the turret roofs are going to be very spiky, with some kind of pinnacle on the top and maybe even a flag. I think a flag would be very nice to have on the top here. Also guys, I would like to thank you all for the nice feedback on my latest episode from this series. Well, the first episode. You guys seem to be almost as stoked as I am for this, and that's so great to hear. You guys came with nice name suggestions and nice comments on how everything was looking and plans and things, and I really do appreciate that. Now, I want to go add a little bit of like a wooden frame around the roof here. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I just think it adds a lot of detail to this and makes it look very nice and kind of separates the roof from the turret side itself. Starting to work on the main roof here of this building. We're gonna have it like almost like a cone shape where it gets smaller and smaller towards the top. And then we're gonna have a small spike or a pinnacle on the top of that again. Just kind of closing in with full blocks, and then I like to add the stairs after that. That makes it so much easier, and you also get rid of all the lighting glitches that might occur when you use stairs for roof, because they're not counted as a full block, so sometimes there's some light glitches when using them. Therefore, I like to use full blocks below the stairs themselves. Now we're going to add a little bit of detail around the main roof here. You can see I'm adding some upside down stairs and then a layer of stone on top. This is diorite bricks, I do believe. And then we're going to add some pinnacles to the side of this, and then also going to add a little bit of a French touch to this, adding some anvils and things. It looks very, very nice in my opinion here. You can see we're adding some more chiseled marble on the side here. Then we're going to add some anvils in between those to add some kind of a fence, but it's not really used as a fence, it's just a design purpose of this. Then we're going to add some, do that all the way around before we start adding some pinnacles to this, which are kind of like spikes, decorative spikes, kind of to create fear on your enemy, to make the enemy think that you're more powerful than you might actually be. I don't know, I'm not an expert on the matter here. So how I did that was using a stone anvil and then some wooden walls and a wooden fence on top of that. Adding in a little bit of marble chiseled around the side as well, just to break up the texture a little bit. Removing the middle part and making some kind of bigger opening here in the front. We'll have a massive window looking into where I think maybe we'll have the main guard there, or the officer. No, I don't know if that's called an officer, where the commander would sit in here. They're gonna have a nice window looking out, and you can kind of command all of the guards whether or not to attack or not the people approaching, because there might also be some friendly people approaching this castle, because people are also nice. It's not just like in a war zone, it's more of a peaceful environment. So we'd have someone sitting up there and guarding and checking out everyone's coming to the gate before starting shooting them, because that would be a catastrophe if everyone was shut down in front of this castle here. Now adding a little bit of texture to the main upper floor before I start adding a small crenellation or a matriculation along the sides here, which is, I've said, is kind of a crenellation which is sticking out a little bit, giving the guards on top a better defensive position. And also we have these elevations in the blocks here to make it more safe for the guards to stay up here. They can hide behind the blocks and then step out and shoot above the lower blocks to protect all this castle here. But guys, that is all I got time for today. I really do hope you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.